Hi everybody, this is Ashley with Marshflower Studio. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make an adorable little dragon stuffed animal. And it's going to be split up into a couple different videos because it does take a little bit of time to make these guys. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make the legs and the body. And then you'll have to check out some of the other videos for the rest of our adorable little dragon. So if you like the video, like and subscribe, and feel free to make requests for future videos. To get started, I am going to be working with this pretty teal color yarn. The color name is actually Ocean. So to get started, we're going to do our magic circle with our 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll pull that tight, and then we'll have our 6 increases to get us out to 12. Oops. Ugh. I keep missing that first loop down here. Here we go. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12. So this is the bottom of his foot. We're going to do 12 single crochets in the back loop only. So we'll go through the back loop and do a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay. At this point, we're going to do several rows of just single crochet. So we're going to go from 1, 2, 3, and we're going to have 10 rows when we're finished. Okay, so 4 through 10 are just single crochet rows. So I'm going to do 2 single crochets, and I'm going to pop my hairpin stitch marker in here so that I don't have to count all that many rows. We're just going to go around and around and around. And our background sounds are brought to you by my 2 tiny tornado toddlers again today. Oh, gracious. Somebody's having fun with their toys. There are a few places in this pattern where you need to make sure that you are starting and stopping your rows in the correct place. A lot of the patterns that I do, it doesn't really matter if you have an extra stitch here or there. But in this one, you need to be a little more careful to make sure that the increases and decreases go in the right place so that you end up with the right shape. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 3 more. So there's 8. There's 9 finished. So 1 more. As I'm getting close back around this side, I'm going to check and make sure that I stop in the right place. So this is my starting stitch, so we'll follow it all the way up, and I need to do 1 more single crochet to finish this row. Alright, so we can take that stitch marker out, smooth that back down a little bit, and then we will move on. Well, first you need to have 2 legs. I've already made the first one, so this is my second. They look a little different in size, but that's okay. I think this one just hasn't been stretched quite as much. So once you have both of your legs, you're going to create your body. So you're going to leave your second leg on the hook. I need to find my place marker on my pattern that I have written down over here so that I can keep track of where I am. Okay, so we're going to chain 6 from your second leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to join it to the first leg with a single crochet. And you want to go right beside, this was our finishing stitch from this leg, so we're going to go right beside into that very next spot and do a single crochet. Okay. Once you have your joining stitch done, you're going to do 11 more single crochets on this first leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'll just pull that little tail out of the way for right now. Now we're going to do 6 single crochets across this chain. It can be a little tricky, well, it is for me at least, to have these 2 pieces and then you're working into the chain that's in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you're going to do 12 single crochets around the top of this leg. So go into that next open stitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this is where we're at right now. We have our 2 legs, we have our chain 6, we went around our second leg, and then we have our single crochets across the back. So now we're going to do our 6 single crochets across the front of this chain. Excuse me. And then we'll be done with this row, and it should be a total of 36 if you like to keep up with counting your total number of stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, 5, and 6. So our next row, we're going to have 5 single crochets and an increase, and we'll do that all the way around. So I'm going to put in my first 2 here, and I'm going to use my stitch marker so that I don't lose place of where the front and the back are, because I have done that in the past. I'll get around to the back side and think, oh, I'm done with this row. So we've got 1, 2, we'll do 3, 4, 5, and then an increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an increase, 1, 2, 3, 4. Uh-oh. I have come up with not the correct number of stitches. So I'm going to pop my increase in here at the end. And then in a minute I will count, and I'll probably add in an increase somewhere else just to make sure that I have the correct number of stitches. So we'll have the next couple of rows are just single crochet. So we're doing rows 13 to 21 as rows of single crochet, and it's supposed to come up to 42 total stitches. So let's do our 42 and see how many I come up with this time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Oh, we're good. So I'll keep doing my single crochets. Again, you're going from row 13 to 21. At this point, I'm going to stop for just a second. And where I have my connections over here for joining this leg in, there's a little bit of a hole. So I'm going to take my yarn needle, kind of stitch this little hole up. And it's much easier to do earlier than it is to try to get back in here later and close it up. Come up through this way too. That way we don't have any stuffing trying to fall out the bottom here. And what I'll usually do is let me pull the yarn in from this little foot out. I'll tie this and a little square knot right here, and then we'll just tuck both of those ends back down inside that leg. And we'll take our other end from this side and tuck it down in as well. That way we don't have those ends continuing to flop all over the place. So we have 13, 14, so this will be row 15, this dragon would look very, very cute in just about any color. Could do a nice light green. Could even make it in pink or purple. Has a very sweet face. I've done a couple other stuffed animals in this same kind of pattern setup, and they turn out so adorable. And the more quirky you make their colors, it just gets better and better. I have a unicorn that I made. It's very similar to this. The body is the same. The arms are the same. Obviously the head shape is different. And this dragon has wings and a tail, which my unicorn does not. But the unicorn I made using this yarn. So it's got this really nice variegation of kind of gold and different shades of pink. And there's even some sections where you have this kind of light blue. It's almost a light bluish gray color. And I paired it with the same teal that I'm using for my dragon. So the feet on my unicorn, the hoofs, were done with this teal color. If you're curious about some of the other things that I have made, you can visit my webpage. Go to themarshflower.com. Everything that is currently available is on the for sale page, but I also have a gallery page of all of the other different things that I have made. I shouldn't say all. Some of my newest items have not been added to that page just yet. I get a little carried away with making my little friends and kind of put all of the business aspect of what I do to the side. More than anything, I just like to make these. But we have so many of them. Our kids have tons and tons and tons of these already. And I can't just make these for them. I do custom creations as well, depending on what people ask for. I've done a couple dogs, and their owners will send me photos of what the dog looks like so that I can make sure to get the spots and the coloring just right. I have done quite a few different little animals and done them in custom colors. I think one of my favorites is a giraffe that I've done, and it is in the gallery. It was this kind of country blue for the body, and then for the feet and the spots and his little nose, those were done in kind of pastel, pink, purple, green, and yellow. It turned out super cute. It was going into a nursery. And it very much looked perfect for a little baby. Very sweet. The bright yellow and brown giraffe has definitely been one of my most popular creations. I think at this point I have made 15 of those giraffes. And of course they're all a little bit different. The spots will be different sizes, they'll be in different places. And if you have been making things like this before, you'll know that even moving an eye over one stitch can change the look of the face and the expression. So they all have their own unique little personalities. Even when I do animals in a more traditional color, I'll sometimes add a floaty that's super fun, or I'll add a hat or shorts or overalls just to kind of personalize them a little bit. So we're going to see what row we have gotten to. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so we're going to have 20 and then 21. So this is row 20 for me. I usually have several projects that I work on at once. Right now, I'm trying to catch up on my little keychain items. The keychains are a very big seller at the local store that I sell things at. So the peaches, the oyster shells, the snails, mushrooms. I've had a bunch of Stegosaurus and T-Rex keychains, fortune cookies, four-leaf clovers. I even made some little F-bombs. There's 20. I'll show you one of the F-bombs because I think they're so fun. This one's not quite finished. I have to add the little string where you would light it from and the little flame kind of bursting out the end. But these are also pretty popular. I have skeleton skulls. Two of the really big holidays here in Savannah are definitely Halloween and St. Patrick's Day. Savannah is very dog friendly. The weekend before Halloween, they always have a weekend that they call Wag-A-Ween. And if you come downtown, there will be some extra vendors set up in tents throughout some of the squares and the side streets. And everyone brings their dog downtown and they're all dressed up in doggy costumes. It's the cutest thing. And there are a lot of people that really go all out for their doggy costumes. And most of the vendors will have some doggy treats to hand out to all the pups that come by. Okie doke, so that's my 21st row. In our next row, we're gonna have 5 single crochets and a decrease. Okay, so we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and decrease. Okay, for our next section, we're going to have 3 rows of single crochet. And if you're keeping track of your stitch count, each row will be 36 stitches. Okay, before I start on mine, I'm going to take a second to put some stuffing down in these legs so that I'm not trying to sort of reach it once I have more of this body kind of closed in. So I'm going to take little bits, stick them down in there. We don't want to overstuff because we don't want our stuffing to show through. Especially with this darker shade of yarn. If you overstuff, sometimes you'll see that white kind of poking through. Okay, so I've got a decent amount of stuffing down in my legs here. I wish one of the companies would make some black stuffing so that when you're working with some of these darker colors and or using black yarn, it wouldn't show through nearly as much. But white is definitely the way more popular color. So we'll have our 3 rows of 36. one row. We'll do our second row. This would be row 24. And now I've lost track of my count. Okay. So if we have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, I need one more. Well, as I was saying, for Halloween is very big here. All of the holidays are really represented pretty nicely. Lots of stores decorate and have themed merchandise. St. Patrick's Day is second only to Boston. They do color the Savannah River. Most of downtown is closed off to cars and trucks. Many of the businesses for the actual day of St. Patrick's will close. For some of the offices that are downtown, they tell their employees to work from home for the day if they're planning to work at all. They have a parade. Pretty much all of the squares will be filled with people that are relaxing and hanging out and enjoying the day on blankets, and a few of the squares will have music. There's a pretty iconic fountain in Forsyth Park. If you look up photos of Savannah, you'll see this big white fountain for sure. And they dye the water in that fountain green as well. Even the schools down here give the kids an extra day off of school. So if St. Patrick's Day is on, let's say Friday, the kids will get Thursday and Friday out of school. There's so many people that are helping to set up and decorate and prepare, and with the parades and all the family-friendly fun activities that are going on down there, they just go ahead and say, y'all take an extra day off. Okay, so for our next round, this is row 26. We're going to be doing 4 single crochets and a decrease. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And typically when I'm doing decreases like this in a body of something, I'll stagger them, but because we have 3 rows of single crochet in between, I don't feel like you really need to. So it's 4. We'll do our decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4. And decrease. Okay, so again, we're going to have 3 rows of single crochet. Your stitch count at this point should be 30. So we'll do row 27. I'm actually going to tuck my little pin here up inside because it bothers me with it constantly hitting the table. If you've never visited Savannah, I would highly recommend it. It's a very welcoming city. They do allow open containers in the historic district. They do have to be in clear plastic cups. I've had family and friends come visit for the first time and they didn't know about this and they were a little surprised. So be warned, that is something you can expect. Most people act like responsible adults though. So you don't have to really worry about seeing inappropriate things. If you happen to get up early on Saturday or Sunday morning and venture out into the city, you may notice a few people walking back from somewhere else. I think the funniest one that I've seen recently was a guy, he's probably in his early 20s, was walking, looked like back towards some of where the hotels are, but he had on a pair of shorts no shirt, and only one shoe. So we're not sure where he ended up for the night, but it was clear that it was not where he was supposed to have been. But that's about as bad as it gets. I need one more row here. Savannah is a city that welcomes everyone. So from time to time, there will be some people that are dressed a little different. But I think you'll find most cities, you're going to see the exact same thing. Okie doke. So in our next row, we're going to have 3 single crochets and a decrease. So you'll go down to 24, and then you'll have another row of, or another 3 rows of single crochet, and then we'll do 2 single crochets and a decrease to get you down to 18, and then rows 35 to 51 will be rows of single crochet, and then that will finish off the body of this little dragon. So again, you'll do 3 single crochets and a decrease, 3 rows of 24, 2 single crochets and a decrease, and then you'll have rows 35 to 51 of single crochet, and then you will finish off. So if you want to go ahead and end your video now, that's perfectly fine. I'm going to continue videotaping all the way till I get to row 51, and then I will post the other videos of the arms, the head, the wings, the tail separately, so that it's not a 5-hour long video of this creation of this cute little dragon. So to continue, we'll do our 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3, with a decrease, 1, 2, 3, and 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 a decrease. So now I'll have 3 rows of 24. So this is row 31. 2. This is row 33. Okay. So now we'll do 2 single crochets and a decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now we do rows 35 to 51 as just single crochet. So I'm going to move my stitch marker. I'm going to do the first 2 stitches here. And then I'm going to stuff the body. Not all the way to the top, but I want to get some stuffing down there in that bottom. All right. So once we get to the end of row 51, I'm going to show you what the head looks like to make this a little bit easier. Oh, okay, so this is my little unicorn. Hi guys. This one's made the same way. And what we're going to do is once we get all the way to the end of row 51, we're going to slip stitch or single crochet the top completely flat from side to side. Okay, and then it'll just be sewn to the head like this later on. Okay, bye-bye, unicorn. So once your body is all finished, all the way to row 51, or as tall as you want to make him, you'll just slip stitch that part closed or single crochet it closed, and then you can move on to the next video and the next part of your dragon. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end this video because it will take a little bit of time to get all the way to the end. So once your body is finished, go check out the other videos to learn how to make the head, the arms, and the wings and tail. All right, see you then.